Hi, I'm KALYN, co-founder of the Golden Flow System of Accelerated Well-Being and Abundance. Today, as your abundance coach, I'm going to tell you that I'm an abundant person because I'm in the flow. I allow law of attraction to bring me all of the wonderful things that I desire, such as my 3 businesses, my home that's paid off, or one of the many other forms of abundance that I experience, such as, for example, I have been a jewelry artist and I'm still represented in a gallery. I decided one day that I wanted to make jewelry, and later my mom said to me, "Gosh, how did you learn how to do all these things?" Because we were playing one day in my shop and she's seeing all the different things I know how to do. And I, it's like, how did you learn how to do all this? I'm like, I don't know. I taught myself because that's what happens when you're in the flow and when you're abundant. You just get into this place where things work out and things go super well. Today, I want to talk to you as your abundance coach about one way to be abundant. This is a way that's commonly misunderstood, and it is about the golden rule. Now, law of attraction would say that it isn't really doing unto others because it is the energy that you activate, but most importantly, it's the energy that you hold. So let's rethink that golden rule. Instead of having it be the way you treat others, let's look at what Zazu, who is someone that I channel, or that I hear talk and I can, he just talks through me. Let's hear what Zazu says because he's got some really great quotes, and I'll read them to you because I know you can't quite see my whiteboard. Put yourself first, and the world will put you first. Now that's something that makes perfect sense for the law of attraction to use. In the flow, we really want to put ourselves first. Why? Not because we're selfish and egotistical, but because we know how to take care of things first. Take care of your energy first. Take care of your health first. Have you ever gotten on a plane? I'm sure we all have. And at first they're saying to you, in the case of an emergency, if they drop the gas mask, put yours on first. Why? Because you're selfish and you shouldn't care whether or not the person next to you lives? No, because when we take care of ourselves first, we know how to take care. We're activating that energy. And when we're activating that energy, law of attraction tunes right into that and it uses it. So then we're taking care of ourselves and then we're able to put the gas mask or the oxygen mask, sorry, on the next person. So it's real important to take care of yourself first, and then the world will put you first. It's real important because that's really what law of attraction is looking at. If you aren't putting yourself first, but you're being nice to someone else, it doesn't matter. Law of attraction goes, oh, I see that first energy. There's that energy where you're not first, and that's the energy that you could say it's deeper or closer to you. It's more active. It's more of who you are. It's more of how you feel. And therefore, that's really what law of attraction uses to then attract the experiences of how other people treat you and whether or not they put you first. Here's a second quote. It's very similar. Trust yourself as you would have, treat yourself as you would have others treat you. Why? Again, it's the same because you can't expect that other people are going to treat you well if you aren't treating yourself well. I had this total fumble experience where I gave a presentation and I totally fumbled it. It wasn't fun in that sense. And of course, instead of beating myself up, I came home and I floated. I really worked on getting back in the flow. Why? Because I was like, law of attraction isn't going to use this fumble, and I'm not going to have more self-judging thoughts, and I'm not going to add to this. Instead, I'm going to get in the flow so law of attraction can use that instead. So I treated myself well because I realized that in my presentation I wasn't clear. Since I wasn't clear, people didn't perceive me clearly. They didn't look at me and see who I really am. Of course, law of attraction used what I was being to myself, how I was treating myself unclearly, and it reflected that right back. So when you treat yourself with love, when you treat yourself with respect, everything changes. Then the world treats you the same way back because law of attraction dictates that it's so. It's real important to recognize that when you treat yourself that kind of way, when you're putting yourself first, everything really is different. And here's a little trick I've learned that I often say to my daughter that helps sort of look at how to improve how you treat yourself. You can ask yourself in any scenario, if I was loving myself, what would I do? How would I think of myself? How would I feel about myself? Because sometimes just hearing the words treat yourself well, you don't necessarily know exactly what to do with it. But if you stop and ask yourself every time, what would I do if I was being loving with myself? That really changes things. It also helps the law of attraction know what it is that you're tuning into. And when you then take an action in self-love, law of attraction tunes right into that. It's a subtle difference, but it's one that helps us put it in action. And it's one that works. When my daughter was upset and having a hard time over something, I said the same thing to her, and she was able to come right out of it. So it's real important. Be sure to keep yourself in a great flow, because when you're in the flow, everything works out, and you don't have to avoid a fumbled day or a situation where you don't know what to do, that kind of thing. And you don't have to avoid negative feelings or anything like that, so that law of attraction doesn't bring you more negativity. Instead, you really treat yourself the way you want others to treat you. If you want others to smile at you, to befriend you, to say that you're a great person, be sure that you're doing it to yourself. Be sure that you're treating yourself with love, with friendship, treating yourself warmly, with compassion, because then law of attraction will tap right into those energies and bring that right back to you. And that helps you have a energy of abundance, experience abundance in your friendships and in your great connections. So there's your tip for today from your abundance coach. Again, I'm KALYN. Thank you so much for joining me. Please look for more on getting into the flow at golden-flow-system.com, where you can find classes, workshops, processes, and all sorts of things to help you get in the flow.